Peace family, it's Prince Anu aka Keanu. We scaled liquid blends from $0 to 1.2 million across wholesale and D2C. 52% profit margin to be exact. But we almost destroyed it all. This is the complete breakdown on how we went omnichannel across all of our platforms without losing margins. It sounds good, right? But here's what nobody's telling you about scaling a CPG brand omnichannel. Adding more sales channels doesn't add profit. All it's doing is just adding complexity. And if you don't know how to manage that complexity, your margins disappear faster than your revenue grows. We learned this the hard way. $160,000 the hard way. This is the full story of how we went from boiling herbs in my grandmother's backyard in Queens to locking in national distribution, moving into a real manufacturing facility, adding D2C, then building an FDA-compliant automatic bottling line without destroying our margins. If you're a product founder trying to figure out omnichannel or stuck choosing between wholesale and D2C, this video is for you. All right, so let me take you guys back. Liquid Blends didn't start in a co-packer facility or a commercial kitchen. Back in the late 90s, my father decided to get into the herbal beverage business. Being the fact that we're Jamaican and also this literally is our culture of holistic healing and boiling herbs and taking things for when you're sick, and also the fact that there was a big demand for it, it made total sense for him to get into this industry. At first, something that just started as a hustle started to grow into the empire that it's becoming to this day. We started in a custom built shed in my grandmother's backyard in Queens, New York. We're talking ventilation systems, industrial burners, and massive pots boiling herbs for hours. Eventually, I joined my dad in running the whole operation, sourcing ingredients from Jamaica and St. Lucia, importing them ourselves, formulating, bottling, labeling, doing everything ourselves. So for a while, everything was manual, it was slow, and it was expensive. But here's the thing, we controlled the product from the very beginning. We controlled the formula, we controlled the quality. That's what matters most when you're trying to build something real in CPG. Now, making the product was one thing, selling it was a whole nother war. We weren't running ads. We didn't even have a marketing budget. We didn't even have a website at first. Our entire go-to-market strategy was this: cold outreach to wholesalers and distributors. I'm talking about calling, in-person meetings, even begging, and I mean begging, wholesalers and distributors to take our product, to just even try it. Most people said no, and some people didn't even respond, but a few said yes. And that's all you need in the beginning, a few yeses. Because in CPG, distribution is everything. You can have the best product in the world, but if it's not in someone's hands or on a physical shelf, you don't really have a product. So we focused on one thing: get the product in people's hands and get the product in stores. So we knew that if we can build credibility through placement, the product would just sell itself. No ads, just quality and relentless outreach. And slowly, it actually started working. But here's when things actually started to shift. We weren't just in a few local stores anymore. We started locking in real distributors, the kind that can get us into retail chains across regions. And this is where the game actually changed. Because once we proved that our product can actually sell at a high volume, distributors started to pay very close attention. We started getting calls from all different types of distributors who wanted to carry our product after seeing our numbers. They saw our velocity and how fast our product was moving off shelves. And most importantly, like I said, they saw how carrying our product could really help their margins in their business. And of course, they wanted in. So we started signing small distribution agreements first. Then even now, we are slowly making our way to get even bigger distributors in this region. So we basically went from Queens to New York State to national distribution, all while still in a shed. But there's another thing. Now that our wholesale demand exploded and our distributors were placing bigger and bigger orders, we couldn't keep up with the demand. So we went from producing hundreds of bottles to then now needing to produce thousands of bottles to keep up with our wholesaler. And just remember, we're still operating out of the shed. At one point, I remember we were even turning down orders because of the fact that we couldn't even keep up with the demand. The distributors were calling us like, hey, I need 500 cases. And we're like, maybe we can give you 100. This is the worst position to be in as a product-based business owner. The shed that got us started was now our very own bottleneck. So we needed real infrastructure. Not tomorrow, not next quarter, now. We found a new location, signed a lease, and started building out a smaller version of a manufacturing facility. And no, this was not a retail storefront. This was a production facility designed to kind of keep up with the demand that we were getting at the time. So we basically just needed a space that can help us produce at scale, support our wholesalers and distributors, and essentially handling real logistics. So now you kind of got a good gist of how we went from backyard shed to now manufacturing facility. So it's basically the same process, just now in a different location. So now we could actually breathe. We can be able to handle all of our operations in an orderly fashion. I mean, we're still doing some manual work as far as like mixing pots and everything, but we had a little bit more space, so to have a little bit more room to be able to do things. And now as we were running our facility, we started noticing something else was happening. Liquid Blends is the world's largest herbal beverage company. That we provide all different types of things to be able to help people with these different illnesses and sicknesses. So we literally started getting DMs and text messages from customers asking us, hey, like, I seen your product in this store. Is there any way that I can be able to get it faster online because they ran out? Literally, we had customers calling us at like 3 a.m. telling us like, hey, I'm in Texas and I need your product and I don't see it online. Is there any way that I can be able to buy it? Or even like, hey, I want a case. You guys ship those? We were 100% wholesale. Our products were only available in retail stores. We didn't have D2C infrastructure, no online store, no shipping system. But that didn't matter. Those messages still kept coming. And that's when I realized we were leaving so much money on the table. Wholesale distribution put us in retail stores nationwide and created brand awareness. But people didn't care. They wanted convenience. They wanted to order online, buy in bulk, and not have any problems getting it. Plus, and this is important, D2C margins are better than wholesale margins because when we sell D2C, we capture that full margin. And here's the advantage we had. We already had the facility. We had the space, we had the infrastructure, but we just needed to dedicate part of it to D2C. So we made the decision to add D2C. It wasn't a switch to D2C and we didn't replace wholesale. We just layered D2C on top of our wholesale distribution. And here's why this actually matters. And that's where a lot of CPG founders go wrong. They think they either have to be D2C or B2B, when you can actually be both. Wholesale gives you the credibility and brand awareness. D2C gives you the margin, customer data, whole margins, and so much more. This is what you truly call being omnichannel. So we set up our Shopify and we built our fulfillment infrastructure right out of that same manufacturing facility. We dedicated some of the space to D2C orders fulfillment and we dedicated the other part to wholesale. I remember we started creating organic content. We had bought this little photo box. Like, we didn't have no paid ads, guys. Like, none. We were doing everything organic. I remember even posting behind the scenes of like the wholesale and the manufacturing and all that stuff. Like, it was very organic, guys. And that's when we started to realize that people who are buying our products in retail stores, we're now finding us online and buying for the convenience. So it's like these two channels fed each other. People who were finding us in retail stores but wanted it faster went online, and people who bought it online but wanted to pick it up locally went to the stores. But this is the critical part. We didn't just throw up a website and just hope for the best. We treated D2C like a real business channel. That meant inventory planning for wholesale and D2C, separate pricing strategies, customer service infrastructure, and clear fulfillment SOPs. Because here's the trap. If you add D2C without systems, all you did was just add complexity without profit. So now we had nationwide wholesale distribution, D2C online sales capturing customer data and whole margins, and a dedicated manufacturing facility. We were still producing manually. Can you guys believe that? We were still making our products manually. And with two channels demanding inventory, this was about to become a major problem. So now we had the foundation: national wholesale distribution, D2C online capturing premium margins and customer data, and a manufacturing facility to slightly support both channels. This is the omnichannel framework that took us from 0 to 7 figures. And here's the advantage most CPG founders don't realize. We started building infrastructure before we needed it for D2C. Most founders are doing it backwards. They blow up on the internet and then they scramble to find a co-packer to support their demand. But here's the thing, having the right infrastructure doesn't mean you're done. Temporarily, Liquid Blends is still producing manually. You would never guess that $1 million company company is producing manually for 2 channels, huh? That's where the next phase begins, and that's where things starts to get way more expensive. So this was the Liquid Blends infrastructure story. In the next video, I'll break down exactly what happened when we were building our automations and our systems. If this video was helpful to you, drop a comment below and let me know where you are in your CPG journey. Make sure you guys comment and hit that subscribe button for part 2 on the playbook of how we're scaling Liquid Blends, and also our new emerging herbal soda called Herbal Fuel, and how we're doing it seamlessly while protecting our margins. Peace, family.